Welcome to the first game of the second edition of Micronations that I've ever done publicly. I have done the first edition, um, but the second edition is almost done. And I did just hit join game before I started recording, so this is the screen you'll be on after you join the game. So yeah, this game goes back to like I think it was 2012, the video game, but the board game, the original board game, goes back to 2011. So this has been available a while, but it's still buggy. We're pretty much almost done getting all the bugs out of it, but there's a few things left. So you can still go on and play it. This game is one of my many games about simulation about microciv. So it's about little kids starting countries and economies within their neighborhood. This is another take on it. This is more kind of a tactical approach. There's still a lot of economics involved. So the difference between this and the first game is that for one thing, it's on a hex map now, not a square map. The map displays a little bit differently. You don't see as many hexes at once unless you're signed in as your kid. And thirdly, there is much more complex economy behind this version, this edition. So it's more dynamic like that. There's more going on, and it's not all completely player driven, but it's all it is, but there's a simulation that you can impact in the background. So as a player, you're still impacting that background simulation. I guess you could say it's not like something that runs constantly, but it does. Things do change depending on some factors that the players do. And lastly, I did get rid of contracts, so there's no contracts in the second edition. The first edition, the contracts were pretty awesome, but it's really complicated, and I just wanted to do this background economy instead of the contracts. I could still add the contracts if the game ever, against all odds gets popular. I'll add the contracts, but so for now, this it's pretty crazy. This game is pretty intense. So now I did notice about people playing my games. They don't do it anymore. Once in a while, someone will sign on and try playing. They'll completely fail and they won't figure it out. Even Merchant Adventure, where I have tutorials up, people just don't get this stuff. And that's not how it was 10 years ago when I started releasing these games. There was like actual like a half dozen or a couple dozen people signing on when I released the game, and they would play it, and some people would actually stay on there for a while and start to get it. But the video game culture has completely changed now, and plus there's AI making all these tons of games, so the market's even more flooded. So you have the culture's worse, so people are more dumbed down now, and you have way more of a flooded market. So my hopes of people playing these games is going down like crazy. So I mainly do this. It's a out of passion. It's games that I want to play when I'm old and I don't have a life anymore. That's what I'm kind of making these for. So hopefully either some people start playing these, or I'm going to have to develop AI, which I sort of started going on, like AI players. I started doing that with some of my tabletop games, but that's going to be a brutal process, and it's going to be a big learning process for me. I'm already swamped with work with all these games, just making these games because they're so complex. Even the board games that I do, the digital versions of them, they're complex games, okay? So they're not like other things, but when I get into these browser games, they're like 10 times more complex. So it takes a lot of testing and everything. So I have all these games done and I have nobody playing them now because the culture changed and stuff like that. But I still am going for it because this is what I'm going to be doing when I'm old. I never want to stop. Okay, so let's get into this game. I just explained some of the differences. Labor of love. That was the term I'm thinking of. It's always been like that for me, and it will continue, and I'll be doing this stuff till the day I die. So, regardless of success or failure, that is not the issue for me. So, here we go. You here. This is number 8. Your kid basically number 8. Your player number 8. So, that's what this means. So it's like 1 through 100. There can be a maximum of 100 players on at one time. Now, if you get like 3 or 4 people on the map, you're going to have a pretty good game. So that's all you really need. But it can support up to 100 people. So back in the day in the first release, we had like, I think the maximum at one time is we had like 5 or 6 people online, and it was pretty intense. So that's really all you need. But if you had 100 people on there, I don't think 100 people at a time would be that good, but that's probably never going to happen, so we don't got to worry about it. But They'll probably be, if we do get 100 people at one time, they'll be on at different hours of the day because they'll either be playing different games or they'll be on other parts of the world. So 100 is a good number for this game. So here we go. Let's start explaining this. So as I explained, this signifies your kid. You can create a micronation. You can create a business. Now you can only control one micronation at a time, but you can control multiple businesses by acquiring shares. But you're also allowed to create one. I'm not sure if you have to be a premium account for that. I can't remember, so you might have to be a premium to create a business. But anyone can create a micronation. So let's first just create a micronation and see where it puts us. Now, one of the things is, I don't know what happened here. Did the internet go out or what? No. Well, that's not a good start. Server did not respond. Oh, great. Well, this is a really bad start to this. Okay, here we go, folks. We're playing this game. We're back. Hey, create micronation. There we go. Okay, so the server just had a hiccup or something. So here we are. So this is the micronation. You get assigned a random name. I led a rebellion against the micronation of Shakala, so that probably means they had multiple houses, and I just took one from there. So it was if there's any inactive micronations on the game, you'll end up taking one of their things instead of going to a new house. I think that's how it is anyway. So this micronation, the city here, the city state is called Stadiopolis. You're assigned a random flag with random variables. The centering isn't good on some of these yet. This one actually looks pretty good, but some of these is like you can see Berry City down here. It should be a little bit more to the left, but that's something I'm going to do after the game is after we get every single bug up. I'll get the flags looking a little bit better. But this one looks pretty solid. This one's not bad. It could be more to the left, but this one looks really good. So basically you get three random colors and a random shape, background shape, and you get a random symbol. And there's a ton of symbols, so it could be a lot of things. So the first thing I'm going to do is, since in this game you need only micronations print currency, a lot of my games different entities might print currency, but in this one, if you want to issue currency, you need to have a micronation, and you'll go like that. Okay, so now it tells you how much is printed and the value of each. So each one is worth $1 right now. I'm going to draft kids here. Well, I got a lot of selections. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like 8 kids live here. Which in this game it's up to 9, which is not realistic to the simulation. We never had that many kids from one household, but this is just a different kind of city. It's kind of a different take on microciv. But we had like the maximum we ever had was 4, but most households probably have like 2 or 3. Now in neighborhood conflict, that's a little bit more realistic. So if you play that game, you'll get that one that's simulated more realistic in that regard. So let's take a look at some of these kids. Oh yeah, the other different thing about this game compared to the first edition is that kids, you can't train kids. They have these settings and they have that for the whole game as long as the house is in it. So you don't train them. But so there's overall this is definitely a better game improvement, but there are a few features that don't exist from the first edition. So let's take a look at some of these kids. We can see what they got. Right now I want to probably get someone that's fast so I can like scout out some bases nearby to take over. But I'm going to go back to the main screen. Now when you sign in as yourself, which is right here, number 8, or whatever number you are, you're going to get a bigger map. But you can only view, you can't really control anything on this map, you can only view things. So as we see, any base, these are bases right here, so any base that has a blinking flag means it's owned by a business. Okay, that's still a micronation flag, which would be, actually that's supposed to say the micronation. It might on the other screen, so I'll have to fix that. So this is the micronation of Shakala. This was Shakala before, but we had a rebellion here, so there's a new micronation here called Stadiopolis. Okay, so this base is owned by a business called AT Organization. Okay, and then here these ones with the flag that aren't blinking are owned directly by our micronation. So this one's owned by Berry City. Now what we're going to do is we're going to claim this. And we're going to claim this one. This one's owned by Coolberg. Okay, so we're going to claim these. 3. I guess we'll do all 3. Oh, look at this. We got. Oh, that's a thing. Now you can claim sovereignty over these, and the purpose of that is important, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But for now, I won't even claim it because I'm probably the only person on the map right now. So I'm going to go back into Stadiopolis, and I'm going to draft some people with good quickness so we can get this done. Here we go, positive, and positive sociability as well. So this guy's going to head out here. And this little Korean symbol here is symbolizing a kid because it sort of looks like a kid, but it's actually a Korean symbol if you didn't know. Most people these days probably know that. So they'll probably be confused. They're like, why is a Korean symbol there? But it's just because it looks like a kid. That's the only reason why. Because I like to use text characters. It's fun. The original one only used like basic text characters. So depending on the kid's skill, it would show their a letter, and you would just have to go by them. That was pretty cool. It was a cool setup. There are some surviving images of the first edition. Okay, let's try to get another kid here. Sociability, positive, quickness, neutral, positive, neutral, positive. Yeah, sociability. So let's get this guy. Now these are parents right here. Anytime a parent lands on a piece, they will send it home. For instance, if it's a wagon or a bike or a raft or a kid, they'll send it home. If they go into a base, they take one construction away from it. So this, you can see this parent just moved here and they destroyed the base. That means it only had 1/10 of construction left. Okay, so now this guy is carrying a resource, just as a note right there. So I'm kind of risking if I go down here, because if the parent goes in there, it's going to send me home and damage the base, or destroy it if it's only 1/10 complete. Okay, but it looks like it didn't, so we're good for now. I'm going to head back up into this base. Now this guy's in here, and he's going to, assuming he's still busy, he's going to claim this. And this thing you can see is completion is 10, and the maximum is 10, so that means it's good to go. So this, now that I claim this increased the value of our currency. So if I go into the directory, I can look at well, if this thing doesn't freeze up again. Yeah, I never really had this problem before, so I don't know why it's doing this. I don't know what's going on, if they're doing some kind of work on the server, or if it's because I did recently change servers, and it's much faster, but there's still some hiccups that we're dealing with regarding that. Yeah, look at this. I don't know. So I'm not sure what is going on with that. And I always seem to have some kind of problem when I first want to show the game. So I may have to end this early and hopefully get this fixed. And I can continue playing later if possible. So yeah, we got internet, so we're good. I don't know, this is really annoying. Okay, so I don't know what happened. So the game seems to be working. I'm going to try it one more time direct. Okay, now it's working. Maybe it's just a bug from a previous bug that was just residual, and it's all clear now that I went through it once. Okay, so Stadiopolis right here is my Micronation, and our currency is called a KIP, and it's worth $1 right now. So that didn't change it. Now if I get another house, it's definitely going to change it. Alright, so this guy is now going to try to get sovereignty over another house, and we'll show you how to do that. This guy will claim this. Okay, and then we're going to head up here, and we're also going to print here while we're waiting. So now we've printed a total of 3, and the value is still at $1. Claim. Okay, so now we're going to head down. So now we have 3 bases, which is more than enough for getting started. In fact, it's a lot. It's going to really boost the value of our currency. You usually don't want to have your currency worth that much, except for certain situations. Okay, we're going to head up here, and I'm not going to explain why right now, but as you learn the game, you'll find out why. But sometimes it is helpful. Okay, so these X's symbolize roads. So we try to keep this graphics. Nice and simple, nice and old school, nothing that is going to affect your serotonin. It's just pure strategy, folks. That's how games are supposed to be. Okay, so I'm gonna head down into this house. By the way, this is a house, if you couldn't tell. This house controlled by Chocolat, and here Chocolat as well. And I'm actually gonna bribe them. Now you can either annex or bribe. It does the same thing except for bribe. You give them money in hopes that they're gonna take your side, and it reduces the chance that they're gonna put up a resistance against you. So you can only do this if they don't have a conscript at their house, which they definitely don't right now, because this is a kind of a it's a micronation that's not controlled by anyone. This Chocolat here at the moment, so they don't have anything going on. So I'm just going to be on the safe side and bribe. Plus my currency is going to be worth so much soon, so that it'll be all right. The bribe. Okay, a bunch of wages changed here. The Stadia annexation for 1 kip. Stadiopolis 1 kip. Bribe fails, so you can see there's a lot of kids here. So there's a lot of kids at that house as well. So yeah, that totally failed. So now my kid's busy. So this guy, I'll try it now. Let's print this. So the currency is still worth 1. That doesn't. I've never seen that happen before. So I don't know if something's wrong with that. So I'm gonna try bribing here. There we go. That one succeeded. So as you can see, the flag changed, and now Stadiopolis controls this. And now all our guys are busy. So if I go into conscripts, these are the 2 guys I've drafted. They are busy from that. So that's pretty much all I need to do with my micronation, and I think that's a good place to end this video because I was talking a lot. And I will continue with another one pretty soon.